What was once inside that gigantic white box, hard to tell how large it is, but it's a really big white box. What was once inside that was a big ass monitor. This here is a UPERFECT monitor. As you can see, it's very large. It is a 27-inch monitor. So that's pretty sweet. Portable, technically, I mean, portable, you're not gonna throw it in your backpack, but you can certainly take it with you. It's meant to be something you can move around with. That's the UPERFECT Special. You could also move it around in your environment, get it set up. And as you can see here, it is actually portable in the sense that you can carry it with you. It has a built-in stand. So that's cool. It's a 27-inch screen. What else is cool about it? Well, this is a dual refresh, dual resolution monitor. So it can do 4K at a lower refresh, and it can do 1080p at a higher refresh. Why would you want to do that? Well, if you're like me and you're doing creator type work, professional type work, having a monitor like this that is in 4K is going to be essential. It gives you much more pixel density. It gives you much more room to work with. Even your menus and things drop down. Even doing copy paste screenshots become more valuable. But then when gaming, depending on what you're gaming on, but if you're gaming on a more reasonable spec device, 1080p is going to be way more reasonable. So here's a look at the monitor, ZX27BU. I will put some links in the video description down below. If I can find affiliate links, I will do that. Do not take sponsors. I do not take payments. So affiliate links help a ton with my channel because it helps keep these things alive. So we can see here it's a massive monitor with this AI dude here. Massive monitor, obviously. He has it mounted on a stand. And some vital stats here. So it is 27-inch, 144 hertz at 4K or 288 hertz at 1080p. So what we're looking at here is when you're doing professional type work, you have access to that 4K very fine resolution. 144 hertz will look very smooth and seamless at on this professional type tasks, but also you can game at 4K, right? If you have a high-end GPU, high fidelity gaming is definitely doable, and that's fair high refresh. And of course, if you are then doing esports type gaming, rather than first single player games, you go to esports type titles, 1080p is going to be much easier to run, and you get that very high refresh. So it's going to be fantastic for competitive esports type games. Some of the advantages here, very good color space. So it's going to look very good for, again, professional work, but also vibrant and good colors for gaming. HDR10 is viable because it is also pretty bright. 530 nits is quite nice. I mean, in an indoor environment, that's going to be very bright. Even if you're in a super bright environment, it's going to be pretty good. As long as you're not in direct sunlight, it'll look nice. FreeSync, of course, is great for gaming. And it's color calibrated. It's color calibrated. So it's not just high color space, 100% sRGB, which is where your professional work should be done. Technically in the sRGB color space, graphic design, that kind of stuff. And then you also have good calibration, delta E of under 3. Basically, we're looking at a portable screen here that you can set up as a portable option, move it around. You can have it actually stacked up on a display type thing, like a stand. And then it's good for creative tasks and gaming, regardless of what. Metal frame, right? UPERFECT. If you watch my channel, you know that I've reviewed a lot of UPERFECT stuff, and I like their stuff, a lot. So anyways, so you can see there it has a metal frame, metal back, and you get a kickstand type thing. It's metal, it's not some plasticky thing, so that's good. You can set that up, you can put it up, then you can mount it. We can do that as well, right? I have this thing. You could mount it on a normal vase mount, like an arm. I can just mount it on this little mobile one just for the purpose of this video, mount it on there, move it around, or you can just use the built-in stand. It's such a giant screen that, that's fine. We have over here Type-C connection, DisplayPort. One of them is going to be for power. You can power it off of the wall, especially if you're using DisplayPort, like a true DisplayPort. It's a full size as well. And HDMI as well. So you have HDMI, DisplayPort, Type-C, Type-C. So you can power it off of HDMI, which is great if you're using a console, video game consoles. My laptop right here, just slightly off camera, takes HDMI so that it can go in there. This laptop can also do USB-C, so that's great. My laptop, however, does not do DisplayPort. My desktop does. So that's great. You have 4 connectors, this is really sweet. You have over here power, like a menu buttons, right? Brightness, volume, headphone microphone combo kind of thing. All kinds of cool stuff there. Very nice. Nice, robust design here. So I'm going to bring that a little slight closer. You can see that this is very well designed. You actually have you have 5 screws there into this piece of metal here with a nice, robust hinge there, just to prevent it. You do not want this thing to, it's heavy and it's large, so that's good. Very nice. Rubber feet on the bottom as well. Very cool. So we're gonna just do it like probably like that for now, get it set up. It's not too much to test. I mean, does it look good? How are the colors? How do I like using it? I've actually had this for a month, by the way. They're probably like, UPERFECT sent this over. They're probably like, damn it, where's our video? And I'm like, you'll get it when I feel like it. But also, yeah, it's a sick monitor. So I've been using it like on and off quite a bit. I did actually have it as a primary desktop monitor for a while. You may not have noticed, but for a little while in my videos, I had this thing as a primary desktop monitor. But then, and that's fine, nothing wrong with that. But then I was like, you know what? I kind of want it to actually be a portable monitor where I can move around and like come sit somewhere that's not my desk, like this here, and be like, you know what? Let's get this thing set up and do some real heavy, work on it on a giant screen. I don't have to be at my desk as a result to do that kind of work, and that's really nice. I don't mind being at my desk, but sometimes I don't want to be at my desk. Here we have it set up here. We're using the Macbook to start here to show off the USB-C capabilities. So we're just powering this off USB-C. There's no funny business there. And it's beautiful, right? We'll get into the colors and that, but right off the bat, it's a gorgeous, freaking gorgeous screen. UPERFECT makes hell effing nice screens. That's why when they ask me to review something, I'm like, yeah, I'll review it because I like it and my audience, you like it. When I recommend a product from UPERFECT, and then you buy it, like you guys, I don't have to feel guilty because it was something that I legitimately like and use, and I'm confident to recommend it that you guys are gonna come back and be like, well, he lied and it's a piece of crap. No, this is good shit here. Anyways, so gigantic canvas. You come here with your MacBook, you go for your work for the day, whatever. Come home, you can have this on your computer, like your desktop, right? You have a VESA mount, standard VESA mount, whatever, have it set up like this. I have a monitor stand, so I actually just set this on my monitor stand without anything else hooked up to it. That's fine. Or you can be like this, right? Like I want to move around my house. I want to have different areas. Right now I'm in my like dining room area. I have a bright, large window there. I can see outside. I feel like alive and awake here. I'm not in my like grimy office here. I can have this here. If you move around at all, it's fantastic. So maybe you're a graphic designer, wedding planner, I don't know, an engineer or something like that. Yeah, you can take your little Peaslee MacBook with you, your little Peaslee Windows laptop with you, your little Peaslee tablet, your little Tablito over here, bring that with you and show it to people. And everyone can crowd around this little turd here and try to see the same screen. Or you can bring out the big boy. Set this down, it's a full-ass screen. Everyone can come see what's going on. You can show your work on this thing here. You can show your designs, your art, your plans, whatever it is on this massive thing. Gorgeous and a fantastic idea, right? Of course, then you can also do your own work. Like I can set this down here and I can work at this table, and I have done this many times. I don't always want to be in my dark, grimy office. It's a small office, it's dark, it's not a permanent setup, and it is not great for filming everything. It's not great for doing work. Sometimes it's nice to be able to sit over here. Okay, so I've decided to switch over to Windows now. It's just, Windows, it's a little bit more granular in what you can show. So now we're at the proper refresh. So we're at 4K, and I can show you that it goes to 144 hertz. So 4K, 144 hertz. 27 inch, this is 16 inch, this is 27 inch, so obviously it's huge as a result. It also has amazing colors. Now, one other nice thing about it, people may not like that. This is an OLED screen, this is not, this is IPS. So yeah, you don't get quite as good blacks, but the reflectivity is kind of look at my face right here, look at me. Look at this guy. Hello, look at this. Can you see me? No, you can't. So the nice thing about a portable monitor, I mean, OLED has its advantages, even in a portable monitor, but in this case here, being able to move around, having access to a gigantic screen anywhere, means you're not going to have to fight against the screen itself. You're not going to have to fight with the reflections. It doesn't have reflective coating, so that's really nice. Bring this over here, and now all of a sudden I have a huge canvas, right? That's how the screen was before. Now look at how much more room I have here, right? And I can scale this down even more if I want. So look at that. Like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, I can put 5 tracks in here, technically slightly more. I can have a huge window here for actually looking at the video portion of my video, right? See that over here, huge giant screen for the editing, all kinds of media files over here. Technically, because it's a portable screen, I'm just hooking up over USB-C. I can also have my other thing over here where I can have, if I'm doing Discord or something like that, I can have that open here. I can have my video files over here on this screen over here, right? So I can have my video files over here and drag them in there. So I can have the portable setup. But even if this is, even if I closed this laptop, closed this down, and I was only using this, I mean, how immersive does it get here, right? It's going to be fantastic for that kind of stuff. Let's quickly do a color test here, though. Okay, now, make sure this is fully bright. You actually might notice this is an OLED screen, high-level OLED screen, and I'm seeing slightly better colors over here on the UPERFECT. UPERFECT, I mean, this is a nice laptop. It's a Acer Swift Go OLED, very nice, you know, good specs and all that kind of stuff. But in the end, Acer is a laptop brand. They do have some screens, but this is a laptop here. UPERFECT is a screen brand. What do they specialize in? Screens. So, you know, whether they buy these panels or make them, I don't actually know. I think they just get them. They produce the product. They're going to source the best shit that they can get, right? Let me actually bring in my phone because my camera, like this physical camera here, cannot capture the color space properly. My phone does a better job. So look at that. High level, 100% DCI-P3 color space laptop on the left there. And look at the UPERFECT. That's an OLED too. Look at that. It's way more vibrant on the UPERFECT. It's killer. So let's come in here, we'll play this. Try to get them synced up. Look at those greens though. It's like, it's such a nice screen. Music. Honestly, I mean, the UPERFECT just looks better. Look at those colors, right? Look at those greens. Now, I'm not saying it's necessarily more accurate or anything. I'm not comparing the accuracy of the screens. I'm comparing the vibrancy. So if you're using this for content consumption, how are you going to beat this? It's so nice. Content consumption, gorgeous. And what I mean by content consumption is movies, shows, and gaming, right? Now, I have a 4K capable gaming desktop. It's a little Steam type thing I set up with an AMD 9070, very 4K capable. And 144 hertz 4K is well within the realm of that. I'm not pushing above 144 hertz on 4K. There's no freaking way, not on that device. Even if I had a 5090, these days you wouldn't be doing it. So 144 hertz is killer for 4K type gaming even too. Creator of course too, but especially gaming. It's really nice. But, right, what about doing some 1080p gaming? So yeah, of course, I could game at 4K, not on this laptop, there's no freaking way. Not on the device that I'm going to show here. I have a little handheld I'm going to show it with. It's not happy, it will not be happy gaming at 4K, right? So normally what you would do is you would hook up your laptop, your device, whatever, and you'd have a 4K output and you would scale down. Or you would change the resolution to 1080p and it would look terrible because it would be, you know, it would be messy essentially. Here, what we're going to do is we're actually going to switch to 1080p. So let's do that. Now, this thing does actually have speakers built in, and that's nice because, I mean, when I hook up later, when I'm hooking up, you know, a gaming handheld or a gaming console, you hook up your Nintendo Switch, you hook up your Xbox, your PlayStation, your Steam machine, whatever. You know, I'm not outputting sound from the physical PlayStation or the Steam machine. The Steam machine doesn't have speakers built in. PlayStation doesn't have speakers built in. So you need to have speakers. So either I have to hook up a sound system or it's built into here, right? So later when I hook up this device here or I hook up something else, the speakers being built in here are critical because the device that I'm outputting for gaming especially does not even have speakers, right? So I have to have that. Or even a desktop doesn't have speakers. My laptop does, but even in this case, I don't want my laptop speakers to be off to the left, right? I want my audio to be in front of me. So let's come in here, we'll just test this out real quick here. Yeah, it's gonna get really loud actually. Now, it's not as loud as a sound system, but it is definitely pretty good. Totally fine. Not tinny, not rattly, not hollow. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. They are speakers and they sound decent enough. So I have no problems with that whatsoever. So we have brightness, contrast, and game mode, that kind of stuff. So we'll come down. So FPS brightens it up slightly, RTS, that kind of stuff. So just so you can see hidden details more. It's just kind of like a cheat code kind of thing you can see better. I don't play those type of games. We have auto select up here. So again, we have two USB-C options, display and HDMI, so that's great. Volume up right here, volume down, whatever. It does have speakers built in. On-screen display, don't care about that right now. Temperature, you can change the brightness. It looks great from default. I would just leave it, to be honest. It looks fantastic. Source, auto switch, volume, that kind of stuff there, aspect wide. I guess you could make it smaller. That's good. HDR mode, you can set it up if you want. FreeSync is on. I already turned that on, obviously. Again, I've used this already quite a bit. So FreeSync is good. If you're going to be doing some gaming, you want FreeSync. See that? See that? See that? So this is where things get cool. So when you don't want to change this in Windows, right? You don't want to just have it as a 4K monitor, which is the default, hooked up, and then change in Windows your display settings. Because you can put it to 1080p, but you're not going to unlock 288 hertz. It's not going to know. Windows not going to know what that means. It will unlock 1080p at 144 hertz, which I guess is still fine. But you're paying money here for 4K 144, and then you're also paying money here for 1080p at 288 hertz, right? Okay, so we'll come down here, select that, change that over, boom. Okay, so now we're in 1080p mode, right? So not only are we in 1080p mode, we're also in 1080p high refresh. So obviously it's not quite as clear. You can see the pixels are a little bit more jank. So for professional work, like doing video editing and that stuff, yeah, 4K is better. It's crisper, it looks better, that kind of stuff. And that's specifically why you want a 4K monitor, right? I mean, for gaming it's nice too, but really it's more for professional stuff. We'll come over here, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it to what it wants to be, which is 1920 by 1080. Now for our gaming pleasure, I do have a little laptop here. Now this is no beast. This is no beast of a gaming laptop. It's a little Pro Art. It does have a 4050 in it. So, I mean, the nice thing is here, if you have a 1080p setup here and you have a high refresh, high power GPU, like let's say a 5090, 4090 laptop or desktop, of course, something like that. I mean, you can really push these 288 hertz refresh, right? So esports gaming, that kind of stuff, you're going to be absolutely ripping, right? This GPU here is not really suitable for 4K. Like if I had this thing in 4K here, I could do it, but I'd be scaling like crazy. And it doesn't have the VRAM, so I'd be scaling like crazy. So for creative professional work, it's fantastic, right? Hook up my little Pro Art. This is like the thing I'm using kind of for video editing recently. And yeah, it would be totally fine at 4K. But for gaming, it's not happy at 4K. It's very happy at 1080p, especially with the CPU combo. And you know, with things like frame gen and that, I truly think we might actually be able to get up to some pretty high FPS here. So let's come in here, we'll load up, I don't know, just a game of some kind, maybe something that would benefit from a high refresh, and get going. Okay, so here we are in a game scenario. It's nice to have the speakers right in front of me, like coming directly at me rather than my little device over to the side. Or again, if I had a PS4 or something like that, or whatever, or a gaming console or a Steam machine or something, they don't have speakers, so there's really no option. Here, you know, the sound's coming out of this in front of me, to the point I had to actually turn it down. So we'll come over here, we'll just check the settings real quick here. Now, again, this is just a 4050, so it's not some monster. Okay, so here we are, and we're in the game. Even on this relatively modest spec system here with just a little 4050. Cool, I don't care. We're really actually benefiting from that. So we're benefiting from the lower resolution of 1080p, where I can actually, you know, push the 4050. At 4K, this thing would be just chugging, and that's fine. And we also have high refresh. You can see there in the top left, well, maybe you can see in the top left corner there, we're actually really benefiting from that high refresh, right? This is not a 4x frame gen scenario. It doesn't even have it, to be honest. So, you know, this is a 288 hertz refresh monitor, and we're really pushing it, right? We're not quite up to 288, but we're at 215. It's close enough. 200 or so out here. So I'm really benefiting from this. It looks really smooth. Like, I don't necessarily always game on super high refresh stuff. Like, I don't even have a monitor that can support that normally, like on my desktop, because my monitors are often 4K because I'm doing video editing, right? So I'm doing 4K video editing, and I need, you know, really the best I'm going to get is 144 hertz, which is fine. It's still lovely. But I'm certainly not getting a 288 hertz 4K monitor. And I benefit from the 4K setup for video editing, but for gaming, I mean, I'm not the type of guy, I don't own a 5090 desktop. Like, I don't have that kind of performance. Maybe you do, but I don't. So I'm going to really benefit as well from having access to this. There's war happening. From benefit from having this, you know, really modest kind of resolution, 1080p, which still looks fine. It looks great, to be honest. And then also having that really killer refresh here in a game like this that's actually competitive. Now, I would like to emphasize, I am not competitive in Arc Raiders. However, there are many of you who are competitive in gaming, right? Or at least try to be. And dog collar, and having access to 4K for, you know, fidelity, single player 4K gaming, right? Like you're playing your single player games, you know, you're playing your, I don't know, whatever single player game you want to play, God of War or something like that, and you're like, I want max fidelity, I want my 4K. Yeah, do that. Play your 4K, right? And you still get 144 hertz refresh. Not like you're hurting, not like you're at 60. You're getting 144 hertz. But then you get into, you know, your competitive type scenarios, and you have this, so you can do both, right? No, no, I'm not ready. I'm dead. Okay, I'm dead. It's really hard to talk and focus at the same time and do a video. It's really difficult in a game like this. Anyways, so I totally lost my train of thought. Yeah, if you go out there and you buy a 4K monitor that's a high refresh monitor with really good color space, 144 hertz 4K, 27-inch monitor, it's going to cost the same as this anyways, right? It's not going to be mobile. It's not going to be, you're not going to be able to take it around with you, that kind of stuff. So it is what it is, right? Here, not only do we have that option, we also have built-in a 1080p super high refresh gaming monitor at the same time. So you don't have to have two monitors, right? So the cost of this is covered, whereas a lot of people would have I have friends, I have people on Discord and that who have a 4K monitor for creativity and they have a 1080p monitor for gaming, and they have both of them, right? So they have to physically have two monitors taking up space. They don't necessarily want to do that, but they have to, and they also have to have paid for two monitors. We don't have that here. So this is a really good product. It's quite good, honestly, it's quite good. So that's the UPERFECT here. Easy recommend. It's not going to be for every single person. You know, maybe you don't want a 27-inch. Maybe you want a little 14-inch OLED or something like that. Of course, I have a review of one of those coming. But if you are looking for essentially this spec here, and this is what you want, it's an easy recommend, right? It's an easy recommend for me.